spamming unlimited supers with this perfect Warlock build setup. I've tested a ton of different builds and to be honest they suck. This is the Phoenix Protocol build and this might be the best build to combat difficult content. I'm excited to show you guys this build as it has huge ad clear potential, a safe zone in difficult content which we all need, rapid solar explosion so you can scorch all the enemies and ignite them at the same time, and we're going to have the best team survivability super in the game, so let's jump straight into it. Now there are going to be two things in this build that are key to make this build work. The first thing is going to be our primary exotic, which would be the Phoenix Protocol exotic. This exotic makes difficult content very easy as we're just going to be able to spam unlimited supers once we have this build. The Phoenix Protocol is going to give us the exotic perk Battle Hardened. Kills and assists you make while standing in your Well of Radiance returns super energy. Now this applies to Well of Radiance as well as any other super on your Warlock class. Yes, you can use Phoenix Protocol with different supers and it still works perfectly fine. While standing in a Well of Radiance that I did not pop myself and running Phoenix Protocol, I was able to refund my Chaos Reach up to 50% in less than 50 seconds. So yes, Phoenix Protocol does work with different supers even if you're not rocking Well of Radiance yourself, and if you did not pop a Well of Radiance by yourself. So you can have other teammates pop Well of Radiance, but as long as you're using Phoenix Protocol, your super energy will still be refunded. Now, the key with Phoenix Protocol that you want to keep in mind when rocking this exotic is that you need to physically be inside of the well. So all your teammates and yourself need to be inside of your Well of Radiance or your teammates' Well of Radiance to gain that buff and refund all your super energy. And once you have 2 or 3 people running this exotic at the same time, you're able to spam unlimited Well of Radiances in any difficult content. And that content should be easy. I was struggling in the Grandmaster's GM until I started using the Phoenix Protocol, and as soon as I swapped to the Phoenix Protocol, that GM was just super duper easy, as we had a safe zone any single time we needed to clear out any model of enemies, especially in the Mars GM last week. And with Phoenix Protocol, you're able to spam Well of Radiance every 2 to 5 minutes if you're the only person using Phoenix Protocol, even with low intellect. I had very low intellect and I'm still able to spam unlimited supers with this build. That's the first exotic. Now the second exotic we need for this build, and this is an optional, you can always swap it to any other solar bow, but the solar bow we're going to be using will be Hierarchy of Needs. You're able to get Hierarchy of Needs by completing the dungeon Spire of Watcher. Now you can get this exotic by just completing the dungeon, but what you really want to do is wait for the dungeon to become on rotation and pick up the catalyst as well. And you gain the catalyst by defeating the boss on the master mode of the dungeon when it's in rotation. And once you do have the catalyst, you're going to be able to pick up Archer's Tempo, and it's going to reduce the draw time every single time you gain a precision hit. So you're just going to be able, you're going to see me just spam and spam and spam, and I'm doing that because I have the catalyst. So if you don't have the catalyst, that's where you're not able to spam as quickly as I am. But those are the 2 key exotics you need for this build to work. As I said before, this exotic is optional. You can swap out this exotic with any other solar exotic build such as Tiku's Divination, and this build will still work fine. I've just been loving Hierarchy of Needs and it's been slaying out for me, so I choose to run it all the time. Now for the aspects that we need in our Warlock subclass, these aspects all synergize together, especially when I show you guys the fragments I'm using. So for the first 2 aspects, or the only aspects we have in this build, the first one will be Touch of Flame, and Touch of Flame is just going to enhance our solar grenade. So without Touch of Flame, your solar grenade will not have too much of an area effect damage, but it's just going to be in a small perimeter. Once you pick up Touch of Flame, it's now going to emit lava blobs around that perimeter, so you're able to scorch targets that are not even inside of your grenade once you do have Touch of Flame active. That's why we're using Touch of Flame. And the second aspect we're using is Icarus Lash, so we can just quickly move out of enemy line of fire whenever we need to. Those are the 2 aspects we're running, and we're running that with the solar grenade because I love the blobs of lava it spews out, so we can quickly scorch and ignite any single targets. Now for the first fragment we're using is Ember of Resolve. We need to be able to heal ourselves once we don't have a Rift or we don't have our Well of Radiance. We're able to heal ourselves because of Ember of Resolve. Anytime we get a kill with our solar grenade, it's going to give us health regen and just a small health boost anytime we kill an enemy with our solar grenades. So even if that enemy is only getting hit by the blobs of lava from your solar grenade, you're still going to get health back. The second thing we have is Ember of Ashes. This is key so we're able to spam our solar ignitions. We need to be able to scorch targets, and with Ember of Ashes we're applying more scorch to our targets so we can make them ignite even quicker, and we're able to stun unstoppable champions with Ember of Ashes. The next thing we have is Ember of Searing. Anytime we defeat those scorched targets from our blob grenade or solar grenade, we're going to create a fire sprite. The fire sprite is just going to give us grenade energy every single time we pick it up. There is a small cooldown, keep that in mind, every single time we activate a fire sprite, but we're just going to be able to refund our grenade once we start creating fire sprites all over the field by defeating those scorched enemies from our solar grenade. And the last fragment we do have is Ember of Char. Our solar ignitions will spread scorch to afflicted targets. So for instance, once you do throw down your solar grenade and it starts to scorch and ignite those targets, once it ignites those targets, it's going to spread that scorch to different targets that were not scorched before. And if those targets are scorched, it's going to ignite those targets. This is how we're able to clear out large amounts of enemies, since everything will be getting scorched and everything will ignite once they become scorched. And once they ignite, they're going to spread that scorch damage to any surrounding enemies. So we're able to spam our solar ignitions, spam everything. And if we're spamming our solar ignitions, that means everything will become scorched in our vicinity. If you guys are struggling with any GMs or any difficult content in general, I highly recommend you pick up this build so you have a reliable safe zone and one of the best super in the game when it comes to team survivability. And if you guys are wondering what kind of mods I'm using in this build to enhance this build that aren't necessary on my armor pieces, I will have a dim link in the description. So don't forget to check out the dim link in the description if you want to see all the surges and damage resist mods I am rocking. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.